What's up, and welcome back to the Kind of Funny Screencast. As always, I'm Tim Geddes, and I'm joined by the Big Daddy himself, Greg Miller.
Woo, 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 woo.
The Big Dog, Kevin Coelho.
I should have refilled my water.
It's not too late. Run as fast as you can right now, Kevin.
Oh, that was a nice little look there. We have the producer / seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Great afternoon to you, Tim Geddes.
Great afternoon to you as well. Of course, that's the only thing we have here at Kind of Funny, because this is the show, Kind of Funny Screencast, where each and every week we get together to talk about the latest in TV, movies, and trailers. You can get it on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com. You can also get it as a podcast by searching your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny Screencast, and we'll be right there for you. If you wanted to get the show ad-free, you got to go to patreon.com/kindoffunny, just like Molecule, James Davis, and Pranksy have done. They're our Patreon producers, and we appreciate them very much. Today we're brought to you by DoorDash, but I'll tell you all about that later. I want to get right into it. We're talking about Peacemaker, episode 6. Greg Miller, what'd you think?
You know, obviously I still love it. Obviously I still can't wait for these episodes each and every week. What I liked about this one was it was a great reminder of how good James Gunn is at horror. The idea, you know, obviously Slither, obviously Dawn of the Dead, the remake, when the cop is sitting, first off, when she gets taken down and becomes a butterfly, broke my heart.
Yeah,
broke my heart. And I if you would ask about, like, I don't know how much I care about these cops or whatever, like her, you know, journey throughout this series to be actually, you know, keep them on track to actually be, you know, justice and like go after Peacemaker. And, you know, even though the white supremacist needs to get out of jail for it, whatever, but her getting taken down was so brutal. And I was like, oh fuck. Right. Cause I was hoping that Goff was going to get out, or I shouldn't say hoping. My thought was Goff would get out, get inside the cop, and then be chill with Peacemaker, and know that it's, you know, that they're still very much a villain. So when she goes, when now Goff goes and like sends the message from the police station and then tries to smile, I'm still like, what is going on? And then when she walks back into the police station and they start playing Monster by Reckless, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking intense. And then the fear and the slow motion and the brutality of them infesting all the cops and all the prisoners. I was like, wow, I did not see that coming. And I felt bad. Like I felt bad and I felt scared, which is rare, I think, in a show.
Yeah. Nick?
Yeah, I thought that was a really good episode. I think we kind of hypothesized last week on what was going to happen with the dad character, and I think I said, I don't think we're going to see him in the outfit in this. No way he's going to suit up. This episode was what we like to call raising the stakes, right? Now there's not one, not two, but 3 different groups coming after Peacemaker. Pretty much, well, I guess 2 different groups, because I guess the law enforcement officers are in fact the butterflies. But the fact that it's going to basically be like Robert Patrick, his dad, coming at him with the superpowered neo-Nazis, and he also has to fight these aliens, I think is just really, really cool. And I'm excited to go into sort of the finale of the season 1, or the season, seeing how all this plays out. Are they going to team up? Will the dad forgive him? Will he forgive the dad? Probably not. Are the butterflies going to get in the dad, and then we have a super butterfly white supremacist dragon? I don't know. But I'm right with Greg, man. That last bit, pretty much from when I think Detective Song, when she gets the butterfly in the mouth, which, by the way, was so brutal. When you see people coughing up blood because the thing's burrowing into your skull, at first I was like, oh, maybe it'll come out and she'll be okay. But no. And then, you know, that's so brutal. And then from that point on, pretty much, I mean, the Locke character is insane, that Captain character. And then going into them kind of invading the police station, the slow-mo running away from it, and just that terror of being like, you're not going to get out of this thing.
Oh, froze. All right, give me 2 seconds. Let me figure this out. Why it froze? Can anyone else hear me? I'm gonna drop the call and come back in.
The interplay with the diary and thinking, oh man, he got away with it because they figured out the diary. But then, of course, it's just locked in the office. He's the last guy to get infested by the butterfly. You're like, oh no, thing's gonna come to light. It's gonna be horrible.
Sorry, just a heads up. Like, we froze for like 20 seconds there.
Could they still hear us though?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know where they froze? Where we froze?
Roughly 20 seconds before I started talking.
Okay. So let's start talking about the slow-mo infesting everyone with the captain.
Yeah, sure. No, so I think that scene, to echo what Greg was saying earlier, was just super terrifying, right? And set against that fun kind of rock song Monsters, it was just such a James Gunn moment of like, What a great, silly, kind of daffy thing to put against this horrific image of, and the detective that we like, right, which is the guy that we talked about last week, Larry Fitzgibbon or Lachlan Monroe.
The scary
I was like,
movie
oh,
guy.
don't let that guy go out. Don't let that guy go out. And he was like the last guy. He kind of turns around, just right to the face. And then, of course, them beating against hitting against the glass of Captain Locke's office as he's just like realizing that it's done. There's no way that little glass is going to keep him out there. And then, we saw him that right before that scene, putting the diary in that top drawer. We're like, well, that's coming right back out to haunt him. Yeah, very, very good. Really liked that. I think we also talked about with the Mern's character and whether or not he was going to be good or bad, and so we've got some resolution there as well, which I thought was pretty cool. Called it, and like I said, I called it, Tim, but I did call it.
Tim, I have breaking news that Nick called it.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Sorry.
It hurts more when you say it. It gives you a
know,
little bit
I
more
know.
authority. Kev, what'd you think of this episode?
I thought it was like a lot in like the best way. I'm like fully invested. It's moving like it shouldn't have hit as hard as it did. But when the cop woman gets the bug in her, and you're like, oh, that's gonna immediately kill her. That sucks. I was bummed out. Yeah, I was very much like, oh, that sucks. That character was cool. And they even have that moment where so Goff is his name, right? The leader that's now inside. Inside this woman is like kind of talking to the partner and being like, "Huh, you guys were close, but like this is better. This is better." And then it comes to the decision of like, yeah, we're gonna infest everyone. Where you're kind of like, oh, like he can feel what she's feeling, and like I wonder if that's like, oh nope, they're just going full on invasion now. Really, really cool. I'm blown away by like the horror aspect of it too, where it was like that whole scene is really scary. Like, because like everyone's fucked. Like a bunch of people are in prison. Like the cops don't know what's happening. So it's cool that it can pivot that hard from the like fun comedy aspect that it has. And also it's interesting to see like, oh, this does remind me a lot of Slither. And and even Starro, like the way that like they attach their face and stuff like that. And it's like James has definitely like a certain alien invasion that he likes to go for, and it's cool.
That formula.
Yeah, but it's cool to see it come out and be utilized in a way that like fits the story perfectly. And it's like, I can't wait for more again.
And that's what I think one of the reasons that it's so horrific, right, is that we see multiple people try to stop them, like have the butterfly in their hand, right, and they just can't do it as it burrows into their fucking face. Tim, what'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. I think this is one of my less favorite episodes of the season, but I still think it's just a testament to the quality of James Gunn's work these days. Like I think that this show is probably going to go down as the most James Gunn thing he's ever done, which is saying a lot because of how ridiculous so many of his projects have been. But I think that this kind of allows him to shine in all the different ways that he does. So whether it's the horror, the comedy, the character, the music, all that stuff, I think he has more time to have set up and pay off for all those different elements, so that when the butterflies are attacking everyone or not even attacking, like taking over everyone at the end of this episode, whether the cops or prisoners or whatever, that was built up to mean more than just an alien invasion. It was like, these are characters we know, good and bad, getting taken over in very violent ways, backed up with fun music that does add some levity, but also kind of makes it creepier in a way too. Like,
way creepier.
It's just like it's a lot of earned moments, and I think that the show continues to kind of build a foundation off of that, which is a major compliment. I think that the two cop characters are my least favorite characters in the show. So when they started focusing on them more in this episode, I was a little like, I don't know if I needed. I liked them kind of as just like a joke here, pepper in some comedy. Like focusing more on them wasn't necessarily what I was interested in, but the route they took it, I did end up enjoying, because taking them over, making them part of the threat, I think raises the stakes, like Nick was saying, in a way that keeps it interesting. But I just love that this show continues to keep us invested in the story, and the fact that we are second guessing characters' motivations and where the plot's going to go and who the villains even necessarily are going to be. Like, that is something I didn't expect going into Peacemaker. And I think that they really do have something special when we start episode 6 of this show and Harcourt is revealed that she knows that Murn's a butterfly.
Mhm.
We didn't see that coming. We didn't even talk about that option last week, but it's believable and it doesn't feel like reveal for reveal's sake. It kind of just feels like there's this living world. And to that point, the living world thing, one of my favorite things of the show, and I know Greg and I have been talking about a lot the last couple of weeks, is how it fits in the DCEU so well. And the jokes and making things canon and all of that. I think this episode really cemented that with the little kids elementary school scene. Like they used that very well to not only like kind of mature John Cena to an extent and like show that he is growing as a character and wanting to kind of shed some of the bad, killing stuff, but then also having these kids be legitimate fans of Wonder Woman and Flash. And there's this world they even mentioned like, oh, we should move back to Gotham. Like all of it is like not just a reminder that they're in that world. It feels believable that they're in that world, and that world is so different than what this world seems to be. But I think that they flawlessly kind of execute that. Greg Miller from KindaFunny.
And I think that's, one of the things I know how much I talk and how much I laud this show, but again, to pat it on the back is that in content before, whether we're talking about Harley Quinn or Shazam or whatever, for me personally, and what I want out of these shows, when they drop a reference to extended universe or Gotham in general, when they drop it to Batman, to Superman, to whatever, those always hit wrong for me in those other ones, because I'd rather see that story. I'd rather see, than Billy Bastion or Batson. I'd rather see them, what's going on with Batman and Superman, where we are and that kind of thing. This is the one where this show is so good, and I'm so all in on it, that when they drop the let's just go back to Gotham thing, I don't immediately go, oh, what's happening in Gotham? You know what I mean? Right. I am just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're from Gotham. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's and the same thing of like, though, even the way they set up the entire thing of him being in the show and tell or whatever, right? Gender swapped Alfred E. Newman. yeah. I thought the same thing. He's an unbearable D-bag. like again, I wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait for Flashpoint, or I wish I was getting that right now. Yada yada yada. I was like, this is perfect. I know where I am, and I like that this is all existing at once.
Do you think we ever go back to the plot line where the kid's like, you might be my real dad?
No, it was great.
But that's the thing is, I love that those jokes can be
so
peppered in, where
though.
it's like, there's the DC references and all that stuff that's fun, but it's not just, you're referencing something. It's like there's that layer of comedy to it and the layer of growing Peacemaker as a character. But even just like the delivery, again, John Cena, I cannot applaud him enough for his efforts and talent. Like how he can look at a kid and be like, yeah, kid with the sad eyes, to answer a question. Like his delivery of that is so funny. But then to end the episode once again with an unnecessary music scene, but this time up in the ante where we're just going to let him fucking play piano. How long? Yeah. A very long time.
I was waiting for it to
John
kick in,
Cena
right?
Play it? Yeah, he's just going to fucking go for it. We're going to get every angle possible. So anyone questioning, is that John Cena? Yes, it's John Cena, the most talented man alive. Take that to the bank.
Not only is he playing piano, but he's playing one of the most iconic Motley Crue songs, "Home Sweet Home."
I was like, are they ever going to kick it in? And they never did.
No,
they
did.
That's a bold choice. I like it.
There's a
I didn't know
where
what that was, and it broke my heart, guys. You know me. I want to know the songs. It's playing in G. I was like, what is it? I'm like, I don't know. Like, and I hate
It's "Home Sweet Home," and I'll tell you why I know that. I know that song for two. Well, I should know it for three reasons. One, because it's actually a very, very popular song by Motley Crue.
Hold on, I'm gonna Slack Tim. Why you know it? One of the reasons. All right, hold on, Tim. There you are. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Well, he does that.
There
Let
you
me
go.
tell you about our sponsors.
Oh.
This episode is brought to you by DoorDash. If you've been listening to any kind of funny podcast, you know that we absolutely love using DoorDash. It's so great. It's so simple to just be able to order whatever food we want and then have it delivered right to our house. Along with the restaurants you love, you can now get groceries and other essential items delivered with DoorDash. You can get some drinks, snacks, and other household items in under an hour. With over 300,000 partners, you can support your neighborhood go-tos. We're always talking about Volcano Curry in San Francisco, of course. Ordering is easy, and your items will be left outside your door when you choose contactless delivery drop-off, whether it is the local favorites or the nationwide chains like things like Popeyes, Cheesecake Factory, all of that. For a limited time, y'all can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code KindaFunny. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and zero delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code KindaFunny. Don't forget, that's code KindaFunny for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change, terms apply. Now go for it. Let's see.
Now, Nick,
Let's
you tell
see.
me, and then Tim can tell you if I was right.
So 3 reasons. 1, great song. 2, if you've ever seen which I stand by, is a very good music movie, The Dirt on Netflix. Very, very good. But the first time I really remember hearing that song was when Rob Corddry drives home in the beginning of Hot Tub Time Machine, and he's
Nailed
singing
it, Greg
And
Miller.
it's fucking. I was like, "What is that song?" And
See,
I
I
looked
would've
it up
got-
afterward.
It's funny that you do it, because for me it's the ending. Remember at the end when Rob Corddry's gone, he stayed in the past and lived to the future. Remember he replaced himself
Lugal.
into it, so they do the entire fucking video for Home Sweet Home, but every time it's supposed to be what's his face? It's Rob Corddry because he took the place in Poison.
Because he took
Or Moniker.
oh god,
Moniker.
yeah. What's the lead singer's name?
I can picture him, but I can't say
Shit.
it.
look it up
Steve. You're
Lead singer.
googling it. Oh God, we're
If I can
idiots.
get this before you do. Motley Crue. Vince Neil. That's
Vince Neil, there it
it.
is.
Vince Neil. You got the Neil part right.
You know I'm a
I continue
dreamer.
to love Vigilante in this show. I feel like he is a sense of comic relief in a comedy show, but for some reason that still works for me. Like, I love how dumb of a character he can be, even next to really stupid characters. But I feel like James Gunn does a good job of always having him go one step too far, where it's like, okay, he doesn't need to be on screen anymore, but then does one extra step that makes it
And you're
all
like,
worth
I'm
it.
okay with it. Yeah.
But like his ringtone playing and his Barbie girl, like that shouldn't be funny, but it is funny. And that totally earned that entire scene to me. And I loved the back and forth, the stupid ass back and forth of the tap once for yes, tap 2 for no. All the buildup, all the jokes about what's your favorite color. Like it just had me.
You gonna
man.
put
Like,
aliens in our chest like in the movie Aliens?
the show.
How else am I going to experience birth?
It's funny because watching this show, we're doing in review with 21 Jump Street, and then I just started watching that team's after party on Apple TV Plus, and all 3 of those projects, like when you play a video game and you kind of get in that flow state where you're just like you're in the zone, your mind's not even really thinking about it. I feel like these projects kind of do that for me for just laughing. Like they kind of get me in such a good place to like want to laugh, be ready for the jokes, and they're just like letting them wash all over me.
That's a great point. No, it's the same way where I do think I get not lulled into it, but the entire thing is just so enjoyable, right? And like even to the point of like again the show and tell, but like why is he here? And then I was like, oh, the janitor guy from
Right.
the hospital. That
was
I
like-
always love in the intro when he pops up at the very end, right? Like just going by.
It
with
was
his
like
mop
you
or
said
whatever.
at the hospital that whenever I needed you for the rest of my life, you would be there. I was like,
I didn't say that.
I don't think I said that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah,
man,
the Vigilante has a bunch of great moments in this one, as he always, right? Where I think of when they're up in the trees and he pulls out his little knife. He's like, no, you can't kill the cop. And he gets all sad and puts it away. And then when he starts stabbing cops, he's like, yeah, well, he'll be fine. It was just a collarbone.
It's
or
like
whatever.
at worst, he's paralyzed.
Yeah. And then
well,
like when
last
he passes him his phone, he's like, "Why Taylor Swift's sexy butt? Oh, that's why I wanted to see photos of her sexy butt."
So on the nose. But I loved how last week we were talking about the journal diary kind of hiding scene and how heartbreaking it was. Because like that's how invested in these characters we are, that like this plot point made us fucking feel something. In this episode, when we see Vigilante tape the Goth to himself, it's like what is he doing? And like this is so stupid that like it's funny because it's so stupid, but I was questioning like what this is gonna go wrong, but how's it gonna go wrong? I didn't expect it to go wrong the way it did. And when you see him kind of fall out the tree, you in your mind you're like, oh no, this is what's going to happen. And when it hits the ground, I had a moment of like, oh no,
Goth
because
is
it's
dead.
yeah, either they killed this little dude that for some reason we like now, or he's
Well,
out
he drew the
and
peace
this
sign.
is problem. So it's just like I really these motherfuckers, they just got me by the balls, man.
I was gonna say the line delivery of like what are you doing? It's like, I'm taping this to my back so both my hands are free. And it's just like, yes, that's exactly what you're doing, Vigilante. You keep doing it.
That's exactly what Kevin would do. He would just run around. But Kevin, I would tape it to my chest, I think. I guess back makes more sense because you got to lift.
But I would have fallen on my chest. I would have in the air twisted. I would have in the air twisted. Yeah.
He would have used
Like
his tail.
Tim falling and making sure the Xbox was safe at one time on a skateboard.
Exactly. We all remember that.
Xbox.
I love all the commentary that continues to happen between these two and how they basically every time they talk have a bit of a therapy session. I love the idea where he's like, "Are you just raging right now because you're feeling like you're not being heard and you're frustrated?" He goes, "You know what? I am." And he goes, "Well, thank you." He goes, "Shut up! I'm still talking." But then I love the additional commentary that he then says back to the group on when she says, "Why would you keep Goth?" And he's like, "Maybe I'm keeping Goth like a dangerous pet because I'm insecure of my masculinity or something like that." So funny,
Dude. Shout out to Eagly, by the way. Again, like, she continues to be so fucking great. But like, I want to just rewatch this show and just watch Eagly the entire time because the level of detail on the animation is so like it's what sells it. Because like, there's the shot of them in the car, and at some point, like, the camera's from behind, from outside the car, and Eagly's not the point of the scene. It's just like he just has to be there because he's in the car, and you just see his head in the back seat, just kind of like moving around just a little bit, and it's just like, you believe that Peacemaker has this fucking eagle as a pet.
Well, he's playing with the milk ring or whatever off of a jug.
No, the part that got me was when he throws Eagly into the car.
Yep.
And then goes to get in the seat, and Eagly like won't get out of the way. He's like, "Get in!" He just grabs him and throws him in the back seat. He's like, "Get out of here!" And Eagly's like, he understands what's going on, but he's not 100% perfect.
And then when they go out, when it all pops off and they start fighting the cops, he starts eating eyes. He's like, Eagly's hardcore.
Yeah.
Wait, also, yeah, that scene where they give him like a badass theme song, and he comes and starts fucking people up in the woods. It's like, hell yeah. Although every time he shows up, I'm getting, the more guns involved, the more scared I am for Eagly. You know?
Yeah, Eagly might take one to the dome. Again, I started this whole episode off with talking about the stakes that are being raised. I like that we're headed toward a showdown at this barn, wherever this cow is. It's an interesting. I have faith in James Gunn. I'm always a little bit worried when they have the MacGuffin that can take down these things all in one go. But what I like about this is the added stake that this is the only place on the planet, or the only thing on the planet that makes their food for them. What does that mean for Murns? So if they kill it, does Murns then have to die? Is he sacrificing himself for this? Because he had that one great moment where he talked about he can feel that the guy's still in there, right? The real Murns still, and I know he could have changed, is what he said, but I'll never give him that opportunity. I thought it was a really good scene. I thought that.
Well, here's my question about that. I'm with you, but is that what he was saying, or is it that his? I thought we were gonna get like a Last of Us kind of thing where it's like, oh my god, it's like a living hell for the person who's been infected. They're still there. It feels like I read that interpretation when Murns is talking that the guy's dead, but he still has all his memories. Like, he still has his memories, and he knows based on that he could change. He's not alive in his head.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah. But he knew
either way,
he got the memories that the guy could have changed, and he deprived him of that.
I think that's kind of what was happening later with the cop and Goff, because like, right? He was kind of accessing the memories. So I think that the people are dead.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah. You guys are right. Yeah, I misspoke. But it's
that being said, also, I think if they kill the cow, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone's dead. That means that they need to figure out another source. Like, they need to figure out another cow, or like, I don't think it's like a vampire situation where you kill Dracula.
No, they won't die. But theoretically, they'll have to leave the planet or something, right?
They'll probably have to leave the planet, I assume.
Yeah.
Although, maybe if this is the only source of food that exists, like, right? Because it would make sense, because they left their planet because their planet was dying. So it could be that there's no other, like, this is the only cow in existence.
Maybe. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like. Do you guys think it looks like a butterfly and a cow mixed together?
We can only hope, Nick.
That'd be super cool.
It's gonna be gross for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be super.
It's gonna probably undulate, and it's gonna be a lot like the end of Slither, where like the thing was like huge and a blob.
Yeah. That's
one quick thing I want to point out that we didn't point out last week, or because we didn't know. We made a bunch of hypotheses of what was going to happen and questions, and I saw people in the comments be like, did they not watch Next Time on Peacemaker? We have screeners, so we watch ahead and we don't get that. So we watch week by week like you do, but we don't get the added bonus of whatever. Also, so that's why we never reference what they tease is coming.
Yeah, that would also be to some degree like cheating. So fucking.
We don't cheat. What I mean? We came here for the straight shit.
Yeah, bro. We're coming from the dome. So when I
cheat on Euphoria, all right? Euphoria finish, I go immediately to see what's going to happen next week.
Of course.
Always stressful every time.
Drugs. Turns out it's going to be drugs.
A lot of drugs.
Lots of drugs. I loved what on the phone call of Vigilante where Byrne, I think, was like, Vigilante's like, oh,
who's that? Vigilante?
Who's that? Vigilante sounds Italian. I'm American. Couldn't be me. Like, that was great. And then when John Cena knew the password, he's like, dude, I know my own birthday, man. Like, that's so funny. Is so fucking funny.
God, that was good. Yeah, the show continues to impress. And there's a lot of shows, even great shows that I've watched before that are 7 to 8 episodes long, where I've always kind of I've had the complaint of like, oh, there's a couple middle episodes in there that really kind of drag or filler. This one is not filler. This is all set up for this conclusion that we're going through. It's a lot of intrigue. The mystery is great, and the one of the things that I really wanted to touch on before we left here was the thing that hit most for me was as they're all walking in slow motion, trying to smile, and that one white supremacist guy with the long hair that's jacked out of his mind comes out. That's the one that got me. I was like, oh wow, like that hit on such a dark level of like, wow, you just took the worst character and made him scarier somehow in this. And that's great. I mean, that's exactly where we want to be going into the finale of this show.
Yeah. Well, we got two episodes left.
Two more
episodes. Sorry.
Yeah, 2 episodes left. So really exciting stuff. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Nick, where like so far, no filler. This has all just been kind of all working together as one thing, which continues to surprise me that it's a 50-minute comedy, but it doesn't feel like that at all because I think it's just a quality story. But let us know in the comments below what you're thinking of this show, what you expect to happen in the final 2 episodes. And remember, Kind of Funny Screencast, we do a whole bunch of other things. We're also doing the Book of Boba Fett. We just put up a trailer reaction to the Halo series and a whole bunch of other cool stuff going up as well. So subscribe, youtube.com/kindoffunny. Until next time, love you all. Goodbye.